Yo, baseball fam, what's up? Shane here. Super excited. It's been forever since the last podcast. I know, but it's 2017. Players have reported to spring training, and baseball is right around the corner. And we're back to recording podcasts, which I'm really excited about. We're doing things a little bit differently this year, I think. You know, I don't ever have a fucking plan. We just come on here, hit the red button, off we go. But I got a couple buddies joining me for this episode, and I think probably for the rest of the year. You guys might have seen their podcasts that were hosted on Baseball Fam last year and some of the stuff they put up. Ryan Blake, Mario Mejia joining me on this episode. We just bullshitted for like 30 minutes or something. Pretty cool episode. Not a whole lot going on in the baseball world other than baseball continuing to try to make rule changes. So we chat a little bit, bullshit a little bit. I think you guys will like it. Really cool guys, fun to podcast with. I think it's going to be a great year. But before we get in the episode, got to take a second to thank the sponsors of the show, baseball's original seed sack. These guys are back for another year. Awesome product, awesome people there. You can take your seeds right on the field with your seed sack in your back pocket. I've got one. Actually ordered a couple of them actually for a couple people. You can customize them with your name, number, team colors, whatever. You can go shop their store. You can even get your sunflower seeds on there. It's the perfect time before the season to stock up on your seeds and your seed sacks. Support the podcast every time you guys go on there. Check them out. Order some product. You guys can use the code Shane15 at checkout and get 15% off. That's Shane15 at seed-sack.com. Get 15% off your order. Awesome product, awesome people. Go support the show, support Seed Sack. But without further ado, the first episode of the Baseball Fan Podcast for 2017. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, Ryan, Mario, what's up, fellas?
How's it going?
What's up?
Just
ready to get this thing on the road.
I'm so ready to get back at it, especially with you guys here, so I don't have to make up a bunch of shit to talk about this year.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk for like 3 hours.
Yeah, dude, I got my coffee mug full of whiskey. I'm ready to bullshit till the night's done.
I know we're recording this. It's 11:30 p.m. on a Sunday. Hopefully this goes up on Monday or Tuesday at the latest. But we're all just sitting here with a drink, recording the first podcast of the year. But it's the first of the year. I feel like this is appropriate. I always look for excuses to be drinking on a Sunday night, and I think this is a valid one.
Absolutely.
A great one. I just got off a double. Man, I'm ready to get messed up.
Yeah,
I don't know
what
the weather's been like in Cleveland and Baltimore, but I'm just like the weather here in Jersey has been like kind of nice, but still kind of shitty. It's kind of like where spring is like right around the corner. So like sometimes I feel like baseball's right here.
What's today? Today's Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Thursday in Maryland, it was either Wednesday or Thursday. It was like 72 degrees. I went down to D.C. to go to the zoo in the morning before work because it was so nice out. And then the next day, it snowed in the morning, and it was like 30. And now it's back up to like 55.
Yeah, same thing.
Maryland weather is the worst.
So you went to the zoo in the morning before work. So what's her name?
No, it was a couple friends. Never know.
To the zoo. Why? I wish I lived in Maryland.
Couple lady friends.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, we went down to the D.C. zoo. That one's free.
We're
in Baltimore.
We're getting closer and closer to the truth here, Mario.
Yeah.
It's whatever. We won't disclose all the secrets on the first podcast. We'll get better at that. But I'm just stoked for the end of the off season because we were just talking before we hit the record button about how fucking dry the baseball off season is and how I have zero interest in anything hot stove. Nothing. Trade rumors, free agent rumors, just brutal.
You know, my brother's been bringing up topics like every day. He tells me some weird transaction that happened, and I'm like, dude, nothing has moved the needle for me in months. Like, it's boring. It's been boring for a long time.
Yeah. Nothing. Like maybe years ago, in past years, I'd pay more attention. But dude, my team just went 7 games in the World Series, so I'm on fucking top of the world. Anything outside of just World Series throwback videos doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, my team got swept, so I'm ready.
My team, Edwin happened to my team.
Yeah, sorry about that to both of you.
Game over. Zach Britton sitting in the bullpen.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's got to sting. But
dude, I think I was a lot more annoyed watching that Baltimore game than I was watching the Red Sox at all. I was pacing in my living room like, Buck, where is Britton? What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, dude. I was at a bar, and down at Dempsey's actually, which is like in the warehouse at Camden Yards,
Oh, cool.
and I was down there, and it was a hell of a stressful night. But there were two Blue Jays fans sitting at the bar, and dude, when that game ended, I pounded the rest of my beer and just walked out. I was done.
Yeah, I feel that. I was just telling you guys during the World Series, and I know I'm sitting here bitching about being in the World Series, but during like Game 7, I was downtown and the game got just so annoying that I left downtown, came back here, went to two different bars, ended up falling asleep on my couch and waking up right before Rajai hit that home run. So it's been an emotional roller coaster of a year, and I'm a little bit pissed off. I'm interested to see how this year is going to be because now that the Indians were in the World Series, I feel like I'm going to be watching them all season. And I feel like I'm going to have Cavs syndrome. Like, dude, I cannot watch regular season Cavs games anymore because they won the title and I don't give a fuck anymore until June and the playoffs roll around. So I feel like they're going to be playing 500 ball all year and I'm just going to be super bored of it.
I hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a Red Sox fan. I'm sure every fucking year is like that. 500 ball ain't shit. But, like, you know, when you're like a small market team and you're like, fuck yeah, we're playing 500 ball going into the All-Star break. This is it. This is the year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly what it's like being an Orioles fan.
Exactly.
You may just have to miss the playoffs again for you to get into April baseball.
I'm not willing to make that trade. It's not going to happen.
Definitely not.
I mean, you get to watch Edwin all year though, and I'm pretty jealous about that.
You're right, but I'm a little worried about that. Same thing with like when people were talking about re-signing Napoli. I'm like, is it possible for him to have the same? It's not possible for him to have a better year, right? Is it even possible or likely for him to have the same kind of production year?
I doubt it, dude. Napoli can be brutal sometimes. In 2015 with the Red Sox, he was hot garbage, and when he's not going well, he's going really, really, really bad. It's not fun to watch.
I was kind of in the same camp with the Orioles and Mark Trumbo. I mean, he led the league in home runs last year, but I did some research on this. I looked at the numbers, and he had the lowest F/WAR of any single season home run leader in the live ball era. And Orioles fans were all about trying to get him back, and we re-signed him to a pretty solid deal. It was like 3 years, I think $37.5 million. But I don't think he's going to keep up the same production, and that's what concerns me about it.
Yeah, well, when people were talking about like finding some replacement for Ortiz, whenever somebody would bring Trumbo's name into the conversation, I wanted to stay far, far away from him because I knew he was going to get paid way too much money, and the odds of him just going back to being Mark Trumbo are too high.
Yeah, if the power numbers go down, he's absolutely worthless.
Yeah,
that's all he's got going for him. He can't play the outfield, and he doesn't hit for average. So, I mean, if the power numbers go, so does he.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I feel about all these free agents, to be honest. I don't know if it's the Cleveland Indians fan in me because I'm not used to like making big free agent signings. We just find diamonds in the dust like Napoli or Rajai Davis or some shit. But I just don't see – I'm doubting the likelihood that Edwin or any of these guys have a year anywhere close to the year they just had. It just scares the shit out of me, but we'll see.
Well, that's like me recently with the Red Sox. Like, you sign Carl Crawford and he falls off a fucking cliff. You sign Hanley Ramirez and Pablo Sandoval, and they're literally the two worst players in baseball. You sign David Price, and he's just like, eh. So, like, I'm hyped about having Chris Sale, but at the same time, half of me is like, what if he's bad? Because all these guys are bad the moment my team gets them.
You mentioned Carl Crawford. I got to ask you, Mario, just kind of to piss you off. Should Crawford have caught that Robert Andino sinking liner?
Absolutely. Oh, no.
Every time,
yeah.
as hyped as I was about winning that game, I couldn't believe Crawford didn't make that catch.
No, I remember watching that at my friend's house and watching it all happen in like real time, being so invested in it. Just 1 second watching the Red Sox lose, and then literally 10 seconds later watching Longoria hit that home run. It was just it was pretty brutal. That was the worst I've ever felt.
I was at the O's game that night, and my cousin was there with me. And during the rain delay at Camden Yards is when the Rays made their entire comeback against New York, and it was 7-6 up on the scoreboard. And my cousin had the GameCast going on his phone, and his phone changed when Dan Johnson pulled that homer down the line. His phone changed to 7-7 before the scoreboard did, so he stood up and yelled to all the Red Sox fans in our section, "You guys don't know it yet, but it's 7-7. They just tied it." And 30 seconds later, the scoreboard changed, and they knew we weren't messing with them. And then, like you said, dude, once the O's game ended, they showed Longoria up on the big screen at bat, and he pulled one out of the park, and the game was over, and that was that. And I know as a Red Sox fan, that was kind of a rough night for you. But as an Orioles fan, it was our 69th win of the season. It felt like we had
Nice.
just won the World Series. It's wild.
Was that the
Yeah,
most
and that-
insane single day of baseball of all time?
I think it has to be.
That was also the Braves got knocked out because everybody
Yeah,
forgets
You
that the
can't count out
Braves.
the National League.
Yeah,
What
everybody
year
forgets
was that?
2011.
Yeah.
Oh, it was that long ago?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I remember you guys were mentioning all those things. I don't remember all of those. I remember Longoria's home run, and I just remember that being the most insane day ever.
Yeah, that was the year the Red Sox signed Gonzalez, and no, they traded for Gonzalez, and then they signed Crawford, and they were the best team in baseball for months, and then went like 7-20 in September and fucking missed it.
Yeah, they
So,
lost like a 9-game lead, I think.
yeah, it wasn't fun. It was not fun. That was like
Go ahead.
that was like pre me being on Twitter, so I just like get home every single night and just like log on to MLB.com to find out what the score was, and I would just every single night be like, dude, what the fuck? And then the next day I'd be like, dude, what the fuck? And that went on for about 3 weeks until they got knocked out.
Pre being on Twitter, what the hell was that? The Stone Age?
Yeah, what
I
the
don't
fuck,
even
dude?
remember that at this point.
I have no idea how to watch sports without Twitter. Like I have to be reading Twitter the entire time I'm watching a game.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. But it's crazy how you play 162 fucking games, all 30 teams, and then you have a year like 2011 where so much is riding on the absolute last day of the season.
Someone
It
put
blows.
together,
Like
someone put together a video of the timeline of the night, and it started with Dan Shaughnessy in the Red Sox broadcast. It was at like the beginning of the rain delay in Baltimore, and the Yankees were up 7-0 at the time, and Shaughnessy goes, I think if there's one thing we've ruled out tonight, it's that the Red Sox season will not end tonight. They live to see another day. And then I think it was Jenny Dell, that smoke show, was in the booth with him, and she was watching the screen on the side and was like, well, I wouldn't be so sure. The Rays have the bases loaded and someone just hit a batter at 7-1, and Shaughnessy's going, oh, I'm still not worried. It'll be fine. And then by the end of the video, after it was all said and done, whoever put this together zoomed in on Shaughnessy's face and did the Price is Right fail horn. The funniest thing I've ever
Good,
seen.
fuck that guy.
When Shaughnessy is like on the Red Sox side, that's when you know shit's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy. That guy sucks.
I can't stand Shaughnessy. His Francona book is great, but I don't like anything else he says.
That guy sucks, and so does his hair.
Oh my god.
Curly-headed fuck.
Looks like a
That's him.
goofball.
I actually don't really know why I dislike him. I think it's from NBA playoffs a couple years ago, and he was talking shit about Cleveland when they were smacking the Celtics.
Dan
think that was
Shaughnessy
it.
is if Hunter Pence was a broadcaster, but like stupid and not fun.
That's a really good comparison, actually. Like if Hunter Pence's athleticism was a broadcaster, it'd
Yeah.
be Dan Shaughnessy.
If
Right.
Hunter Pence's swing was a broadcaster.
I love Hunter Pence, but yeah, I mean, he definitely
great.
looks like he's like Special Olympics type baseball. Like
I don't know
that's
what
just him.
I don't know what the radio is like for you guys down there or the coverage for your guys' teams, but do they hate your team as much as Boston radio personalities hate the Red Sox?
Nope.
No, Baltimore sports personalities are the biggest homers.
I think
It's
I think that's a difference between like being in a winning city and being in a not winning city.
Yeah.
I think that's it because you guys are expected to win every single year. So, anytime they have a 500 week, it's all light the fucking clubhouse on fire. But us, it's like, oh shit, we just won 3 games in a row. That's called a winning streak. Let's go.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to listen because I want to get the coverage. I just want to listen to people talk about it, but it's just hot take after hot take about why the Red Sox are on a 10-game winning streak, but they're peaking too early now. It's like, oh, they're finally doing well, but now they're peaking too early, and just a bunch of bullshit all the time.
Yeah, fuck that. I don't know what that's like. Yeah, living in Cleveland, it's the biggest homers on the radio all the time, unless it's like Cleveland Browns radio. But I'm not a Browns fan.
Browns
so.
radio must be fun. So you're not a Browns fan?
Talk about stretching for content and shit to talk about. You should hear Browns, especially this year. Oh my goodness, the same shit being talked about but whatever. We're not going to the Browns. I'm not a Browns fan. I'm not a football fan. If I was a football fan, I guess I'd be a Browns fan. But fuck football. It's baseball season, and the baseball off season is just full of so much excitement. So I've been kept pretty busy.
Oh yeah,
But the baseball offseason is pretty much over now. Pitchers and catchers
Not
report.
at all. I
guess
know,
by
dude.
the time
I'm
we
stoked.
post this,
I'm
Nice.
heading out to
By the time the first
Arizona
one catches,
next
we'll have
week.
reported.
Like 7 days, I'll be fucking out there in Arizona. When are you going? You're going to Florida, Ryan?
I'm going to Florida, yeah, for like a week and a half in the middle of March.
Shit, you catch a ton of games down there.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna see the O's in Dominican Republic, and I think I'm gonna catch the DR play Pittsburgh the day after that. That's gonna be a lot of
sick.
fun.
We got to get you those media passes for that, right?
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
I
fuck
think
yeah,
I can
you
get
gotta-
one. I requested through the O's site that I write for a few of the O's games, but yeah, I'm definitely trying to get credentialed for the Pirates game.
Yeah,
one
we
of
got to
the
do that.
one of the pools for the World Baseball Classic is in the town that my dad's from in Mexico, and I really wanted to go to that, but I fucking couldn't convince my dad to take me to Mexico to see that round. Plus, I don't know if I'd come back. So
Right. Are you guys gonna fly over the wall or around it?
I'd probably just dig under it.
I'm sure there's plenty of those already.
Yeah.
But yeah, fuck MLB. If any of you dickbags are listening who denied us, what was it I was trying to get credentials for you, Ryan?
It was the winter meetings.
Yeah, the fucking winter meetings.
Yeah.
How the fuck are you gonna deny that for the winter meetings? All the clowns that I'm sure were in attendance. Yeah,
Right.
I did that. The application was fine. I looked at the application. I'm like, you can't get denied for this. There's like 1 million people there. Yeah, and they fucking not only did they like not respond, but I got like a declined email. Like, sorry, your credentials have been declined. Fuck you guys.
Yeah,
would've
that's
just-
ridiculous.
I would have just followed Rosenthal around like all day, just trying to like type faster than him.
Yeah, dude. I was thinking about like just standing there. I'm taller than him. I can peek over his shoulder.
Yeah, I'm like, what
Yeah.
is he too tall?
not-
like
I'm
you have
not
to
taller
you have
than
to
a
be
lot of
5'5"
people,
and
but-
under to get in. Is that the rules?
Something like that. I took a selfie with him and I had to like crouch down a little bit, and I'm only 5'8". But
Yeah,
I
that-
met him
that
in a nose game, took a selfie with him.
Yeah, whatever. So fuck that system. Whoever wrote that or whoever denied us, it's pretty stupid. I guess you can't
But-
say the word fuck on air and get credentialed. Is that why like
Apparently
Barstool
not.
got denied for the Super Bowl and we're getting denied for fucking winter meetings? I know the demand is so high for credentials at the winter meetings, but
Yeah,
goddamn.
of all things.
Dude, I would have been fine like just wandering the lobby. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't need to get into private meetings or anything like that. Like, I just wanted to go around and be able to talk to people,
Just walk around and be like, oh, Dan Duquette, what's up, dude? What are you doing?
right? But whatever. Like Shane said, fuck you guys.
No, seriously, it's all you have to do. I mean, you could do it from home. All you got to do is, it looks like the Tampa Bay Rays are the favorite to sign Jose Bautista, and you'd have been right in line with every other baseball writer this offseason. I mean,
Exactly.
that's why the MLB offseason's dumb. So we haven't gotten any news until like this week when something came out about all of them. I almost feel bad for all these rookie ball guys because anytime they try to make these rule changes to the game, the rookie ball guys get fucked playing some weird ass version of baseball that nobody knows what's going on. Like when they instituted the pitch clocks and the mound visit clocks, everything starts in like single A rookie ball. So now they want to start in extra innings with a runner on second base. You guys saw that?
Yeah, I need another swig of whiskey to deal with this bullshit.
Dude, so I don't know if it's, I didn't read too much into it because I'm like, this is one of those ideas that's never gonna come to the big leagues. But yeah, so I guess it's starting in the 10th inning. You start with a runner on second base. That's weird.
That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
I mean, the relievers are not going to be for it. They're going to be like, is that an earned run? Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't want to do that.
Someone
Right.
brought up a good point. I don't know where on Twitter I saw this. It might even have been on your account, Shane. But someone was like, what if a pitcher brings a perfect game into the 10th inning and they start with a runner on second? How is that, what goes on there? Does he still get a perfect game if they, advance a third on a ground out and then score on a suicide squeeze? Like, what's the deal?
My question is, has that ever happened? Has a
Perfect
pitcher
game into
taken a
extra
perfect
innings?
game in a tie into the 10th inning?
Pedro Martinez brought a no-hitter into the 10th inning.
I think Nolan Ryan did once too.
Well, the no-hitter
That might
would
just
still
be wrong.
stand.
No-hitter would
True.
stand.
Yeah, good point. But a perfect game, no, that's a good question. I doubt that's ever happened.
That's my problem. I don't
Should I
like,
fact check this real quick?
Yeah, I'm more liberal on these rule changes than most people. Like, I'm open to a lot of weird things. So I guess my benchmark for accepting new rules is like, does it change the stat book? Is it gonna affect stats? And this one's kind of weird, but it's actually it's not as far out as you'd think. Because I remember when I played ball, like playing summer travel ball, they'd have rules like this where I don't think it was like starting in the 10th inning. Or we used to play 7 back when we were young, whatever. But I forget what they called it. It was called like Texas League or something, where you would start extra innings with a runner on second base, 1 out, and like a 1-1 count on every single batter.
Yeah, it's like slow pitch softball, beer league when you start every at bat 1-1.
Okay, I've never beer leagued, but yeah.
Beer league is the shit.
It's a lot of fun. All right, I've got the fact here for you. Harvey Haddix in 1959 of the Pittsburgh Pirates pitched 12 perfect innings and lost in the 13th on a 2-run double.
That's terrible.
That's shitty.
You gotta fucking not. You don't talk to your team for weeks for not scoring 1 run where you're going 12 perfect innings.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely.
They better suck your dick all week.
What I want to know is if you bring a perfect game into the 10th and your team scores on a walk-off, like who do they mob? Do they mob the guy who hit the walk-off or the pitcher just chilling in the dugout realizing he just threw a perfect game?
That's a really good question.
Who was it that pitched? Was it Henderson Alvarez of the Marlins who pitched a no-hitter on the last game of the season a couple years ago, and they won on a walk-off in the bottom of the 9th, 1-0? I think it was Henderson Alvarez they did that to. I don't remember who they mobbed.
That I don't recall. But that's shitty.
I think you're on to something right now.
I'm gonna fact check this again. Should I be like the designated fact checker of the Baseball Fan podcast?
Because we're not organized enough to do that before we come on here, because we just press record and start rambling. So yeah, we need one of those.
Maybe one of these episodes we'll do like just a very rehearsed NPR Baseball Fan episode.
I'm down for that.
Super down.
He threw a no-hitter for the Marlins last day of the 2013 season.
Yeah. All right. I'm about to play a YouTube video to see who they mobbed. I hope it doesn't mess with the audio.
It's a hell of a way to go out.
It says
they won't. It'll just come through your headphones.
Giancarlo Stanton scores on a wild pitch in the 9th to give Henderson Alvarez a no-hitter.
That's sick.
See, I'm not totally against it, dude. Like I constructed that idea after 12 innings, like all the weird shit that should happen in baseball games to go past 12 innings. So once you get 2 or 3 extra innings, nobody scores, you're like, fuck, dude, this is awful. So let's spice it up a little bit. Let's throw a runner on second. I went a little farther and said position players have to pitch. I think that'd be exciting.
I like that idea a lot.
I would take that over the runner on second. Throw position players on the mound.
I think I'm onto something, dude. I got to keep circulating that for a couple years. It's going to snowball, man. I'm convincing more people. Shit's got to happen.
Do you realize how much people love watching position players pitch? It's like it increases the ratings through the roof.
Even people that don't watch baseball are like, wow, this dude looks retarded, but it's awesome.
Yeah, dude, I was at work and Ryan Flaherty got to pitch a game that the Orioles lost like 10-1, and everyone was like, "This is the best game ever." Ryan Flaherty got to pitch.
Something has to happen. They have to do something. The umpires don't want, after 12 innings. Here's what happens: the fans don't want to be there. The umpires don't want to be there. The teams don't want to be there. The managers don't want to be there. I don't want to sit on my couch and watch it any longer. I got shit to do. Nobody wants to fucking be there, and nobody wants to watch. So let's get this shit over with, right?
Have you guys ever been to a game that went like ridiculously long?
Not that I can recall. Nothing crazy.
Do you guys remember the Red Sox and the Yankees a couple years ago went like 19 innings?
I do. I remember the Ozen Red Sox went 18. Chris Davis pitched and got the win.
Yes, I remember
that one, Mario. Got to rub that in your face
too.
a little bit.
Yeah, that was great. I was at the Red Sox Yankees went 19 innings. I left in the middle of the 9th. The Red Sox were up, and then the Yankees tied it in the bottom of the 9th. I fell asleep at home, and I drove all the way home from New York. I fell asleep in like the 15th inning, and it ended up going 19. And I have no idea what. Like I keep kicking myself in the ass for not staying, but at the same time, I don't know at what point I would have finally been like, dude, I gotta go home.
Speaking of wild games we've been to, I was at the game when the Rangers set the record for the most runs scored. And they beat the O's 30-3.
You were at that game?
I was at that game, and it was the first game of a doubleheader. A lot of people don't realize that, but
oh my god,
that's also awful. That's not fun at all. I don't want to watch 33 runs.
It was a single admission doubleheader, and it was like, I think it was like 3-3 going into the 6th, and then they just blew up. They scored 10 in the 7th. I think they scored like 7 more in the 8th. 9 in the 9th, something ridiculous.
Was that fun, like, at all?
No.
Dude, yeah, because we started rooting for the Rangers
No.
to set the record.
No
Because that was in the
way.
middle. That was in the middle of the Orioles skid when like we had no hope at all. That would have been, let's see, 2007 would have been our 10th or 11th consecutive losing season. So we didn't give a fuck at that point. We were there for the ride. We wanted to see as many runs as possible.
Brutal,
Yeah, I
dude.
think I've been to that point with the Red Sox before, where you're just rooting against them just because you want to see how bad they can get.
Yeah.
You
That was
guys
when
are
we had
shitty
like
fans. I've never been there.
that was when we had like washed up Sammy Sosa and washed up Rafael Palmeiro and washed up Javi Lopez. That was our team in 2007.
Wait, you're telling me Sammy Sosa played for the Orioles?
Yeah, dude, 1 year.
I
You don't
have
know
no
this?
recollection of that. None.
Yeah.
0.
He hit a foul ball that like almost landed in my lap, and then I should have it was rolling in the row in front of me, and I should have picked it up, but then it rolled into this lady's purse, and I was like, I can't take a foul ball out of this woman's purse like that. She didn't. I mean, I could have, but
Do you remember Guerrero? Do you remember Guerrero playing for the Orioles?
oh hell yeah, dude! The Orioles
No.
had an offseason where they signed Vlad Guerrero, Derek Lee, and one other guy. I can't remember. It might have been Javi at that point. But we signed 3 guys who were like way past their prime. But it was like random signings that we knew weren't going to help the team. But it was just like, all right, whatever.
Dude, I love the Orioles. They're so funny.
We are. It's as a fan, like it's kind of a pain in the ass. But at the same time, like we've done a lot of shit.
I mean, I knew my brother tells me he has one friend who like doesn't like baseball but went to an O's game and was like, they've got to be the best team ever. They hit like 7 home runs.
Yeah. Those live and die by the home run. Part of what makes them annoying.
Whatever. You guys in your AL East bromance. God.
Dude.
I'm going to have to nip that in the butt before this
Nah,
year
fuck
gets
the Red
started.
Sox. This isn't a bromance.
God damn.
It's just like we're just on even footing.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty even. Well, it'll be interesting to see which one of you the Indians are going to have to sweep in the ALDS this year.
It's not going to be the Orioles.
So
I'll
have
tell you that
fun
right
with
now.
your guys' little competition. That'll be great.
Orioles are going to win like a fancy 83 games and miss the playoffs by like 3 or 4.
I was looking at the Vegas lines. I didn't see all of them, and I don't have it up here. But I saw the Cubs are at 96.5 wins. That's the over-under for the Cubs. The Indians are 92.5. And I'm like, damn, dude, that's a lot of fucking wins.
Yeah.
I think the Indians are going to win 100.
100? Fuck, man. That's
95 max.
The
a
Central's
lot.
bad. The
I can-
Central's bad though.
I'm going to go on record right now, though, and tell you what the Orioles are going to do this year. They're going to hang around in contention long enough to not sell at the trade deadline, and then they're going to like be mediocre the rest of the season. And like I said, win 83 games, and they're going to regret not trading guys like Zach Britton at the deadline. Because that's what's happened the last 3 years.
Yeah, I saw you rooting for them to sell at the
Yeah, dude.
deadline.
They should have sold Chris Davis and Wei Yin Chen in 2015. They honestly, this offseason, they should have sold on Britton. They should have sold on, as much as it hurts me to say it, they should sell on Machado. I mean,
Yeah.
whoa.
That'll be-
Hot take
this is-
coming
all right,
in.
Hot topic. Hot take here. That's all I deliver.
Jesus.
They, as much as I love Manny Machado and want them to re-sign the guy, I don't see it happening. And I would so much rather dish him off for 3 or 4 top-notch prospects, considering how bad the Orioles farm system is, than see him walk and sign with a team and we get nothing in return.
He's going
I
to be in the
cannot-
Bronx in 2 years anyway.
Dude, no, I can't wait.
Exactly.
For Machado's going to be hitting dingers over the monster. It's going to be fucking.
Machado and
Beautiful.
Harper are both going to be wearing pinstripes here in, what, 2 years? Year and a
You think
half?
both
Harper for sure is going to be a Yankee.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
I would put so much money on that. Machado, I see Machado as like a St. Louis Cardinal or a Los Angeles Dodger. I really don't know.
I don't know, dude. We talk about the offseason. That one offseason that's coming up. That one actually is going to be pretty
That's
fun.
going to be
18?
unbelievable.
It's going to be
18.
wild. So excited
Yeah.
for that.
So it's
Yeah, that one's gonna be
after
fun.
18, right? So we got 2 seasons.
Yeah, 2 seasons. That's
Right.
going to be Harper, Machado, Matt Harvey. I know Jose Fernandez was going to be in that one.
Too soon,
I'm
dude.
sad.
Too soon.
I don't know, dude.
Way too fucking soon.
I was having so much fun with this.
First podcast of the year, and you have to drop that. My
Alright,
God. You're in
alright, I'm
fucking 30-second
Alright.
timeout.
I'll chug my beer.
30-second
We
timeout
had the
for
little
him.
mute thing like they did on Around the Horn. You can
I
mute
need
Mario
one
for
of
30
those.
seconds.
I need a fucking mute button on here. He's
Boom.
muted.
His
I
face
don't want to
turns
hear him
gray.
for 30 seconds. So let's just sidebar for 30 seconds while he thinks about what he did.
I'm just going to take another sip of this whiskey.
I think 2017 is going to be good too because a lot of those guys in that class are going to want to do something before. Because there's only so much money to go around. All of these guys can't go into the 2018 offseason free agents.
Yeah, we're going to see some big extensions, I think, in the next few years. I'd love Machado to be one of them. I just don't see it happening. I said this on a Orioles podcast a couple weeks ago. I think they should sell him. I don't see any chance the Orioles re-sign him. I don't think Angelos will dish out the money. I don't know.
I'm sure all the listeners there loved you for that.
Oh, yeah. It was great.
Oh, great.
All right, Mario, I think your 30 seconds are up.
Yeah, you're
All right,
good.
cool. So it's going to be like Harper's part of it, Donaldson, McCutchen, Dallas Keuchel, Zach Britton, Andrew Miller, Clayton Kershaw, David Price. Like, these are all guys that could be free agents that year.
You really did hold on to that thought for your timeout, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
He took that time to head on to
look
Google.
it up.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm on Google.
Good, productive with your time. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would love to see all those guys go into the same offseason free agents. It's just not going to happen because they can't all get paid. Not going to happen. But if it does happen, that means teams like in the AL Central can land some of these guys.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, there's only so much money that a team has to dish out.
Right.
Like I think if you're talking like Harper and Machado both going to the Yankees, that would be like $1 billion or close.
Right.
To two players.
It sounds like hyperbole, but it's not. I bet
both gonna hit
there's
400K
there's
easily.
$800 million thrown out between those two. I bet Harper gets no, it's going to be $800 million.
Which is, I mean, like the Yankees have a lot of money, but that is a lot.
Unless Harper has a year like he had last year, then he might get $6.5 million.
Yeah, people don't realize that Harper last year was like
$6.5 million for it.
He was buns last year.
For real buns.
He was nothing special at all. People don't realize that. If he puts up another year, we might have to question the whole. People were ready to crown him in the Hall of Fame when he first came up. Same with Mike Trout. I mean, Trout I think will be there pretty easily, but Harper, if he puts up a couple more years like he did last year before he really reaches his ceiling, I don't know.
Yeah, the Trout's definitely beating Harper's ass, which is I've been more of a Harper fan than a Trout fan, so that's sad for me to say. But Trout's been beating that Harper ass. I still think Harper has the higher ceiling, but
Absolutely.
We'll
I think
see.
I think Trout is just a safer bet.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh well.
You can't count out a guy
see.
who has 5 top 2 MVP years in his first 5 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad numbers there, but all right, boys. Good first podcast. We're gonna wrap this one up.
I think so.
It's been like 30 minutes, so good shit. Looking forward to a whole season with you fellas, talking some shit, making fun of your guys' teams when the Indians wipe you out, and what will that be? That'll be October. Yeah, a couple more months.
Looking forward
guys.
to it.
Couple more.
We'll have
months.
to set up some sort of bet system here.
Oh yeah,
Whose
obviously.
team comes out on top.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll have to pull that out in the next show. We're gonna come up with some cool segments, I think, too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Who knows, man? I'm
gonna
gonna
be a
hit
blast.
the record button, and whatever happens, happens.
And then, I think I can speak for Mario when I say, thank you, Shane, for bringing us on. I know I'm pretty
yeah.
hyped for
Man.
this, Mario. I'm sure you are too. But
Oh yeah, dude. I'm fucking
That'd be awesome.
All right, let's do it. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.